I love this question. So the question is, I really want to declutter. I've been trying for 4 months, but I feel so guilty throwing stuff away because of the environment. It's holding me back. So I always just put it away. It's not about the money. Watching other people, they seem to just throw out and don't think twice. Don't know why I worry so much about the environment. Any advice? Oh, yes. All right. So if you are new to Clutter Boss, here at Clutter Boss, we believe the single best thing that you can do for the environment is consume less moving forward. The stuff that is already in our home, that has already been consumed. So when we think of the life cycle of an object, of any object, I have this phone holder right here. How did this come to be? So the first part of the life cycle of any object is extraction. We extract the raw materials from the earth. Then it is production. We take all of the raw materials, we produce them into a thing. Then once we have the thing, the next part of the life cycle is distribution. We send these things around the world to be consumed. Consumption is the fourth part of the life cycle. Everything that is in your house is in the consumption phase. So, of the life cycle, of which there are 5 phases, the last phase is disposal. By the time you get something in your house, it has already been extracted, produced, distributed, and now it's being consumed by you. The only thing next that's going to happen is it is going to be disposed of. It's possible that you could make the consumption phase a little bit longer by passing it on to somebody else who is going to use it or by recycling or upcycling it. However, every single thing that we own, everything, is going to end up in a landfill in the future. Period. That is it. Every piece of construction material that was used to build our homes, every object we have is going to end up in a landfill. And here's the other side of that. Once something is being consumed by you and you decide, I'm going to pass it along to somebody else, or you may decide, I'm going to recycle this. We have almost no control over the disposal of an item. Once it leaves our possession, whether it goes to a donation center, whether it gets upcycled or free cycled by somebody, you give it to somebody else. And even if we put it into the recycling bin, there is no guarantee that it is going to be reused or recycled. Most stuff that is recycled is not actually recycled. So, and we cannot control this. As individuals, we do not have control over the disposal stream of stuff. We can work hard and advocate for certain things, but at the end of the day, that process is dictated by market conditions, by money. That is what dictates our disposal process in the United States, especially. Even when there are government regulations, it is still dictated by money, because if there is no spot for this to be broken down and sold and remade, if there's nobody who will buy this to upcycle it or recycle it into something else, money dictates it. It gets tossed. So we have almost no control over the disposal of something. The part that we have the most ability to make a change is in our consumption. We can choose to consume something or to not consume something. We can choose to purchase things that had the beginning of their life cycle done in a way that is most environmentally friendly. So when we talk about extraction, production, and distribution, those 3 things really compromise the environment. Extraction is mostly horrendously destructive for the environment. I mean, it is a depressing situation. It's so bad. It's so bad. I sometimes hesitate to talk about this because it is so depressing. But the thing is, the more that you educate yourself about this, the at least then you know what you're buying. So one of the most eye-opening things that I've read in the past year is a book called Cobalt Red. It is a book about the extraction of minerals, precious minerals from the Congo that are used to make batteries that power our cell phones, our cars, all of that. The education that you can have around this topic can really help you make better consumption decisions, decisions that are more in alignment with your values. You choose where your money goes. And ultimately, if enough of us choose that we want to have items that are less damaging to the earth during the extraction, production, and distribution process, that is what is going to make a difference because we can we can really make a change with how we spend our money. So the number one best thing that you can do is consume less, learn the truth about how stuff comes to be. And there's a lot of documentaries out there, there's a lot of books, there's a lot of fascinating information. Instead of getting depressed by this and feeling like it's hopeless, make a change with your consumption decisions. We can control what comes into our homes. Once it's in our homes, we're going to consume it in one way, shape, or form, and it's going to move on to its next spot, which is either more consumption or disposal. But it's ultimately disposal, always. That's always what happens in the end. So let's make better decisions. Let's consume less. And when we know that we are hanging on to stuff that is actually garbage, but we are feeling guilty about disposing of the item, the sad truth is that we are then living in a garbage dump. I mean, we are living, our home becomes trash. Our home becomes a storage unit. Our home becomes a recycling center. Our homes should be homes. And the reason that it's so important to have a home that makes you feel good is because when you free up your mental energy, you are able to think through your consumption. You are able to engage in activities that are in alignment with your morals and values and ethics. You have the time and space for that because that stuff does require time and space. It requires us having the energy to devote to that. When we are filled or surrounded by an endless to-do list and a bunch of stuff that is really trash, we are not mentally or emotionally available to make those decisions that are actually going to make a change. So if you have already consumed something, if it's been in your house, it's consumed, it's gone through the fourth phase of a 5-phase life cycle. Let it go. Let it go. And from this moment forward, make a commitment to changing how you consume things. That is where the difference is going to happen, not from our disposal. Everything that's already produced is going into the trash. Cold hard truth. So I don't like to call out names on, when people ask questions. I like to keep it anonymous. When I'm talking about this stuff, because this podcast gets distributed in a lot of different spots. But to the person who asked that question, does this shift things for you a little bit? Does it crack open a door to maybe letting go of some things? When we donate stuff, so much of it is tossed out. When we think about plastics, right? This is a good example. Only 9% of plastics have ever actually been recycled. 9%, 9%. This is a horrifyingly low number. I mean, if I took an exam and I got a 9 out of 100 on it, it would be failure to the epic level, right? We have failed. We have failed with our plastics. And most of the stuff that is recycled is actually upcycled. That means it's turned into something that can never be used again. Recycling has been sold to us as something that we are personally responsible for because guess who doesn't want to be responsible for it? the corporations that extract, produce, and distribute these materials. So we've been sold this because it's an easy solution for corporations. This idea that we can recycle and we can do all this. We can only put stuff into a recycling bin. We do not have control over the market, which dictates recycling. And that market is different all around the country. So do what you need to do to let go of stuff right now. And when you have the freedom from the stuff, you can make much better consumption decisions. Okay. I feel like you've all heard me on my soapbox enough for one day. So, to recap, sleep is important, and it is very difficult to sleep in a room that is spiking your cortisol from the second you wake up until the second you go to sleep. So, prioritize getting those bedrooms into sanctuary spaces. They are very important in our homes. Number two, if you are feeling ashamed or embarrassed by your clutter, can you instead look at your space and say, what would it take for me to feel proud? Can I find a way to be so proud of this space? It's a mindset shift that helps. And number three, sometimes stuff has to go into the garbage because your home should not be a garbage dump. It should not be a recycling center, and it should not be a storage unit. It should be a home. We're going to let it go and make better consumption decisions later. I love you guys. I believe in you. If you want support around any of us, please reach out. We have an incredible program called Clutter Boss Blueprint that gets you from a cluttered house to a decluttered house in 6 months with tremendous support and resources available. And we would love to support your journey because it actually does change your life. And we are here for the life-changingness of decluttering. Love you guys. I believe in you. This process is possible for everyone. Have a great day. I'll see you all next week.